In this video, we're going to go over 6 basic steps to build a cabinet.
Here is our final product. We have our 28-inch wide bathroom vanity. This carcass is 28 inches wide, 34.5 inches tall, and 21 inches deep. The standard bathroom vanity size is 21 inches deep, not 24 inches deep. That's going to get a bit large inside of the bathroom. This cabinet is made out of 3/4 inch material on the two sides and the bottom with a 1/4 inch back, and we use scrap material to make 3/4 inch hanging rail or stretcher in the front and a vertical hanging rail in the back. We did not do a horizontal hanging rail in the back because we have a faucet that has to go through the countertop. Unique feature about this cabinet, we used dados in the two sides to receive the bottom panel, which is also glued and screwed, and we used rabbets in the back panel and the bottom panel to receive the 1/4 inch rear panel. It's a stronger way to build a cabinet. It's going to be much sturdier, especially with today's heavy countertop materials. This is going to get a granite countertop, so that'll be about 1.25 inches thick. So that's why we also made this 34.5 inches tall, so it winds up at 36 inches tall. This is just the carcass. As you can see, we'll be going over the face frame in a different video. So please let us know if you have any comments below. Please like and subscribe to our channel.
Before we get started with any production, we want to make sure we put together a detailed drawing of what we're going to be building. So this is going to be a bathroom vanity cabinet, and a typical bathroom vanity cabinet is going to be 21 inches deep. We need this particular cabinet to be 28 inches wide, and we're going to be 34.5 inches tall. This will give us a finished product that's going to fit in this space where it's designed to go into. Also make some simple notes on the type of plywood you're using, the actual thickness of the plywood you're going to be using, and we'll go into that here in a little bit. The first step is going to be to get all of our sheet goods into workable sizes and manageable sizes. So the first step is going to be to do our rough cross cuts and rips. Once we have that, step 2 is going to be to do your final rip on all of your sheet goods. Then we'll go into our final cross cut. Those are 2 separate steps, and we'll go into that here soon. The fourth step is going to be your dados and rabbets, if that applies to your build, and it does in this case. And a quick note on your dados and rabbets, make sure you test fit when you start your dados and rabbets. The 5th step would be assembly, and the final step would be to apply your stretchers and hanging rails. The first step in any cabinet building process is going to be to take your sheet goods and break them down into more manageable and workable pieces. You're either going to have to do a rough rip first or a rough cross cut first. Whatever works best for you in your shop with the space that you have is what you're going to have to do. For this project, I did my rough cross cuts first with a very basic 48-inch square and a circular saw. Then I went back and I did my rough rips. There's tons of products out there by different manufacturers that will help you cross cut plywood using a circular saw. There's track saws and straight edge clamps and rip guides. I mean, there's a ton of them. For this project, simple, quick, easy. I made a mark with the square, cut it with the circular saw because I know I'm going to go back and I'm going to square up that plywood with my cabinet saw. Once we've finished breaking down our sheet goods into their rough dimensions, we move on to step 2 and 3, which is going to be ripping down your pieces to the final size and cross-cutting your pieces to the final size. When you're ripping and cross-cutting your pieces, make sure to rip every single piece and then cross-cut every single piece, or vice versa. Try not to go back and forth. If you go back and forth, you're going to find yourself having to adjust your fence way more than you should, and possibly coming up with inconsistencies on the dimensions of your plywood. So work through an entire process before you move on to the next. Here you'll see I'm using a crosscut sled to cut my pieces down to their final length or their crosscut. And the crosscut sled is what allows me to get my pieces perfectly square and make any corrections when I was using a 48-inch square and a circular saw. Next, we're going to take our 3 cabinet pieces, the 2 sides and the bottom, and we're going to run those through the cabinet saw, and we're going to put our dados and our rabbets on our pieces. When you're doing this, make sure to test fit before you run everything through. Use an engineer's rule to get down to the 32nd or 64th that you need for your dados. Swap out your blade to the dado blade and run everything through. Moving on, make sure all of your pieces fit together. Glue all of your mating surfaces, pre-drill, clamp everything together, and screw your pieces together. Once your assembly is complete, get an accurate measurement for your hanging rails and fasten your hanging rails to the inside of the cabinet.